Cast is a Stephen K. Media production.
The success of the small business person is the cornerstone of the American economy. Welcome to the Small Business Today Show with your hosts, Cruz and Hughes. The Small Business Today Show is for and about small business advancement and development. What we do for you. We'll be taking your calls as we provide you small business intelligence and mentorship needed to grow your business creatively. Keep listening. The Small Business Today Show with Cruz and Hughes starts now.
Hello and welcome back to today's episode of Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes right here on Blog Talk Radio, where we come at you live at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time all the way to the 6 o'clock hour. This is the place where we discuss the topics that inspires entrepreneurs from thought to action. So if you're in business for yourself, if you're looking to be in business for yourself, if you are a sales professional, you're in the right place. We're going to talk a little bit today about what I thought would be a good topic, should I say, is preparing a place for success.
Wow.
So I think that's a good topic, especially for small business owners. And before we get into that, let me first say that if you want to join the conversation, feel free to give Irv and myself a phone call. We're in the studio right now at 347-857-3958. Again, that number here is 347-857-3958. Now, if you're looking at this and you're watching from cruzandhughes.com, you'll see that to Irv's left is the stunningly handsome Mr. Bertrand McHenry, who is the CEO of the Referral Institute, and he's joining us today. And Bertrand, we appreciate you coming in. And
thanks for having me.
Talking a little turkey with us,
yeah,
two turkeys today.
That's right.
That's right. Always a pleasure, man.
I got plenty of feathers, so let's get after it.
Let's get after it. Before we get started, now Irv shot a little hooky on yesterday, and we had Steve Levine in the studio with us. But hey, we told the people that you had a very good excuse. I
did.
When the good people of the Federal Reserve Bank demand your presence to come in and moderate a panel for them,
that's right.
How can you say no?
That's right. And let me tell you what, man. I didn't know you were going to have Steve on the air, man. I always feel like I need to be present anytime Steve Levine is here.
Yes.
Yeah, because he'll beat you up.
Oh, my God. This is internet radio, so Bertrand, we can go ahead and say it.
Okay. When Steve Levine's around, you better be wearing your cup.
Because he is the master of the low blow.
Oh, man.
Steve will rake you over the coals.
Man, one of the first things I remember about Steve is I took a punch from him, man, went right through the ropes, off onto the scorer's table, down on the floor, and under the first row seats.
He's a rough guy to deal with.
Wow.
But we do love him.
Oh, absolutely.
He calls it keeping us sharp.
Yeah, is that what it is?
Hey, think about it. When your dad used to walk by and as a kid, if he just scratched his head, you'd flinch, right?
That's right. That's exactly right.
That's how I am when Steve gets near me. I'm just waiting for it. You know?
He reaches for his coffee.
That's exactly right. Some little mental and emotional jousting.
That's right.
So how did it go yesterday?
No, you know what? It was fantastic.
Did you bring any money back with you?
Well, yeah, in fact, I did.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but they shredded it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Then you didn't bring any money back. You
Well,
brought confetti.
No, I brought money, but it was money. It was very expensive confetti.
Is that right? Did they give you some of it?
Yeah, we had some. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, in fact, they have a whole column of it, but you know what, being at the Federal Reserve Bank, first of all, it's quite an honor to be in a position where you can serve in a capacity at all in the Federal Reserve, and so that was a really cool thing. And I've done this for a while because I've kind of served in different capacities as a small business advocate at and with our Dallas branch here in Houston of the Federal Reserve. So it was really a great event. We had about 150 small businesses there. We had some panelists from some local area banks, and we kind of started out by asking the question, how many of you guys need access to capital and credit?
I'm sure it's 150 hands.
And so it was 150 hands that went up, and so the meeting, I thought, went really, really well. I had to kind of referee it there for a minute because I asked some of the questions that someone from the industry might ask, where small business owners probably wouldn't ask. And one of the things I said in starting out was really interesting. I said, in years past, somebody with a 650 credit score could perhaps expect to go into a bank and have some reasonable chance of getting financed. And it was so funny to see the tension on the faces of the bankers that were there, because they all said, well, we Well, a 650 credit score is not the only thing we would look at.
But let me ask you this, and I'm certain that you probably didn't do this because I know you didn't want to beat the panelists up too bad.
Right.
But my thing is that even if all other things that you looked at were off the charts positive, would the 650 be the linchpin for me being denied?
Well, I'm about to get to that.
Okay, I'm sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
No, that's great because they said, well, no, we consider all these other things. And I said, oh, so then is it fair to say that a credit score by itself will not approve a loan?
And I'm sure they were going to say yes.
Or decline a loan.
Or decline. Wow.
Yeah. So would a credit score by itself approve or decline a loan? And it was so funny, and that's where it got a little sticky because now they came back and said, well, wait a minute. It certainly could decline a loan.
Yeah.
And so I said, oh, so then there is a number. And they froze and the audience went wild.
Oh, yeah. They want to know what that number is.
Well, exactly right.
Yeah.
But I stopped short of that, because, some of these are my colleagues, and I still have to work with some of you.
You know what I find impressive about this is you're on this show every day, Monday through Friday.
Right.
And how many people get asked to moderate at the Federal Reserve?
Oh, wow.
Well, I know one.
Yeah, I do too.
And he's sitting right
it's
there.
the only one I know.
No,
that's a pretty high honor.
No, it really is.
Yeah.
And the really great folks over there that I've been fortunate enough to know and work with. And in fact, one of the things I did say is that, you guys need to come on our show. And talk about some of the things you're doing at the Federal Reserve to help small businesses or at least get involved.
Absolutely.
And there's so much information that these guys collect on small business.
Right.
And, because, this is your tax dollars at work, folks. And
Absolutely.
let me tell you what, we're big on this show, John, talking about business intelligence.
Right.
And one of the best places to get and collect and gather business intelligence is from a government agency, even though these guys, of course, aren't a government agency, and they're very quick to point that out.
Are they really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh,
because
Interesting.
there is no government in the Federal
That's
Reserve.
true.
They just operate like one.
But a lot of people think there is.
They
Yeah.
think that there is.
Yeah, but I'm gonna slow you down right there.
Yeah. We're going to go into our topic.
You here in a minute.
Yeah.
That's exactly right.
Preparing a place for success. But before we get started on this topic, guys, let me say that my belief is that success is not by any standard luck, chance, happenstance. None of those things happens with success. Success itself is a planned or it's by design. And to hear someone who's not in small business refer to someone else who's successful in their small business as lucky. I don't know about you, but it makes my skin crawl.
Rankles me.
Yeah, because there's no such thing as luck. I mean, even if a person does something wrong and stumbles into something that could lead them to success, you still have to fight through all the wrongs, all the things that didn't work, all the issues and problems that come along with being a small business owner. So the first thing I'd like to dispel is the myth that there's any luck involved in small business. If it were luck, then you would come up with one product, go out the gate the first time, hire your first staff, and with your first round of funding, you could be a success.
Sure.
Now, if anything's luck, that could almost qualify.
That's right.
But I don't know any small business people that operate that way. I mean, I'm sure your business is no different. I mean, you got the same problems to work out that Irv and myself are struggling with.
Everybody, every small business does. And I love what you're saying because we've talked about this stuff before. This success mindset is a huge subject because luck's got nothing to do with it. I mean, if you work hard all the time, you're going to be in a position to take advantage of opportunities that are lucky, that seem lucky, but you've been preparing yourself all that time. You've got the skill set. You're ready to pounce. You're ready to do it. You've saved up enough money to invest in that opportunity. That's not luck.
Right.
I got to say this. I got a friend of mine who found a truck on Craigslist. And he found this truck, and I want to say it was like a 2001, 2002, and the person was only selling it for about $3,000. It had about 40 or 50,000 miles on it, And as he's telling us the story, one of the guys that's listening says, "Man, you're lucky." And my friend says, "No, man, you don't realize I'm on Craigslist for 4 hours a day every single day. Right. I'm just telling you about one of the days that my searching turned up a gem.
Paid off.
You know, but how about the other, 4 or 8 weeks when I found nothing?
That's right.
Can you really call that luck?
No. Yeah. No, not at all.
And that's what being a small business owner is, staying on the grind, doing it day in, day out, when nobody's watching, when it's raining, when the sun's shining, and then finally at some point you strike gold.
Let me tell you what, when somebody says that a small business owner was lucky, that's insulting. I'm just going to say it.
Yeah.
It's insulting.
It is.
Don't say that. Because the bottom line is, where were you? Where were you? Most small business owners who have achieved any level of success didn't accidentally get there.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Even if opportunities came up that thrust them forward were serendipitous in nature, the bottom line is they had to be doing something to get there.
Like some country singers say, it only takes you about 15 years to be an overnight success.
To be an overnight success, yeah.
That's good.
And when you say, where were you?
That's right.
When I was on the road singing in these little honky tonks,
that's
and
right,
having beers thrown at me, and
that's right,
having my car towed, and it's the grind that many of us don't see. Mm-hmm. And the only thing that I can say is that entrepreneurs who are successful just make it look easy. I mean, we don't see all of that at this point now in your business.
Absolutely. So. Singing behind chicken wire.
The only safe thing to do. We're talking about preparing a place for success. And guys, don't go away. We got Bertram McHenry in the studio with Irvin and myself. This segment was brought to you by Small Business Today magazine. It is the magazine that is for and about Houston's entrepreneurs. So if you want a free copy of what we produce every single month that is guaranteed to help you in your business, go to smallbusinesstodaymagazine.com, put your information in, and we'll send a free copy to your email inbox each and every month. More in a moment with Bertrand, Irvin, and John Cruz right after these messages.
Turn up the sales on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with anythinginternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff.
Come buy my stuff. Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now,
excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is
coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting at a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? My answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at cruzandhughes.com. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Okay, welcome back to the show. If you're watching us at cruzandhughes.com, you'll see that we have our good friend, Mr. Bertrand McHenry, here. He's joined the conversation for today. Now, speaking of preparing a place for success, gentlemen, we're doing just that. We have the Houston Small Business Connections Mixer that's going on February 19th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. It's going to be at a business that's called The Mark, which is a private club, and that's spelled M-A-R-Q-U-E. It's at City Center here in Houston, Texas, which is right at the Beltway 8 and I-10 Katy Freeway. And again, it's February 19th, and we're featuring 4 guests of honor, and they are Mr. Errol Allen, Mr. Craig Klein, Mrs. Sue Burnett, and Jack Warkenthien, the sales machine.
Yes, he is.
I've labeled it. So Jack, if you're watching this, that is your new label, and you can thank me. I gave it to you.
It's going to stick.
Jack Warkenthien, the sales
machine. I like that.
That's exactly what he is. So, guys, if you're in small business and you're looking to meet some inspirational people, some people who've overcome challenges, who've figured out how to knock out defeat, you definitely want to be there February 19th. You can register at www.HoustonSmallBusinessConnections.com. We look forward to seeing you there. Irvin's going to be there.
Absolutely.
Mr. McHenry's going to be there. I'll be there. Stephen K. is going to be there. And remember, I told you that if you ever thought about doing a show, if you've ever thought about giving information to the public and you want to know what doing a radio show about your content and about your business can do for your business, you definitely want to talk to Stephen K. All right, now let's get back to preparing a place for success. I figured we just go down some bullet points that I just jotted down, and and we'll attack those. Now, the first thing I think that remains important to me, a businessman or business person, shall I say, because we have lots of business women who watch the show.
Sure.
If you want to maintain a high level of respect amongst your peers, your employees, your associates, and customers, you have to let your yes mean yes and your no mean no. You cannot be all things to all people. Once you've drawn that line that defines where you intend and expect to operate, others will respect that. But if you are sort of gray in the middle, sort of blowing in the wind, then no one is going to say an encouraging word in your absence, because they are going to see that you're not a person of distinction by regard of letting your yes mean yes and your no mean no.
Absolutely. And you know what else? If you don't do that, quite frankly, your reputation for being flexible in some of these areas will precede you.
Yes.
And that will give you trouble. For example, when you are firm in your convictions about your business model, firm about what you can and cannot do, what you will and will not do, it's important that you hold fast to those things, because now those things will precede you as well.
Right.
For example, when you have referrals, people who are referring business to you, one of the things that's a benefit is when somebody can refer business to you and they know enough about your business practices and your policies, how you carry yourself, for them to be able to say, well, guess what? John is not going to do that.
Right. Right.
And even if they hear that, somebody will say, John didn't do that, or that's not the whole story. There's something fundamentally wrong with what you're saying.
That's not the Bertrand that I know.
It's not the Bertrand that I know. Something's wrong here, and I think you're not telling me everything, or you didn't know everything.
Right. Yeah. I think what you said about let your yes be yes and your no mean no is an issue of integrity.
Right.
And people think integrity is a value, and it is, but what it really is, it's an issue of wholeness. We talked about that at the training. You know, if you speak one John Cruz into the universe, and then you behave different differently.
Right.
You're two different John Cruises.
Right.
And that's not being in integrity. It's not being congruent with who you say you are.
Right. That's that duality that people will come to disrespect.
Absolutely.
Because they don't know what you're going to say, let alone what you're going to do. But what I do know is chances are they're not going to equal out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right. Whatever you do, folks, don't become a box of chocolates in business.
Be a peanut M&M.
Yeah, that's right.
You know what you're getting.
Know what you're getting.
Yeah.
Now, we did have a phone call yesterday that I was really impressed by. We had a young man who listens to the show, and he said he was in high school. And I have to admit, I think his name was Justice, that he sounded like someone that was about 30 years old in the way that he spoke, and how matter of fact he was in what he wanted to do in life. And I think that he's already on the right track in terms of having this first thing whooped. I mean, he sounds like the kind of guy that's going to let his yes mean yes and his no mean no. So, Justice, we applaud your efforts, my friend.
Absolutely.
Now, number two, this is one of the things that really helped me in my business. Always pay your people on time.
That's right.
And I would end up getting so many loan officers that were able to produce but weren't able to be compensated. And I developed a reputation, or as you put it, for paying people on time and paying them not only on time, but what we agreed to. So it wasn't, well, you come over and I'm going to pay you 50% of your commissions. And then, I start telling you, well, we had a rough month this month and all the other people who were on the sales team didn't produce. So I'm going to have to cut you back to a third.
No,
I think that you want to have a reputation for paying your people on time. And I think that really goes a long way, especially in helping you retain talent.
Right.
Absolutely. And here's the point. When we're in business, talking about getting preparing a place for success, let me tell you something. Don't mess around with people's money.
Yeah.
Right? They ought to be able to calculate what they're expecting to earn. It ought to be easy. And you shouldn't leave room for you to mess with their mind about what that money is. I have a policy. I do not like people being stunned about how much they are expecting to get.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, and maybe Bertrand, you can speak to this, it seems like sometimes there are business owners who shy away from the subject of money in business when they're talking about employees or associates or contractors or any of those folks. They don't want to necessarily broach the subject of money.
Yeah.
Let's talk about how much you're supposed to get out of this.
And when you're supposed to get it.
And when you're supposed to get it. What triggers money?
And
I think you ought to have that conversation.
Before you say anything, one of the things that I always say is that it's never a bad time to discuss your compensation.
Absolutely.
So I remember once my wife went in to negotiate a raise. And she said that she spent an hour and a half in there with her boss, and she came out, and although they had talked about all of her new duties and everything that was going to be expected of her, I said, okay, now what was the compensation? Well, it wasn't a good time because we'd already been in there. Wait. It's never a bad time to discuss your compensation. Period. End of story.
You're speaking to employees.
And I'm speaking even to people who do business deals with other people who may not discuss what the compensation level is, especially those small business people who are trying to win Fortune 100 or Fortune 500 contracts. Sometimes they won't discuss compensation because they're too anxious to get the contract. I just want to get my foot in the door, and I totally emphatically disagree with that. It's never a bad time to discuss your compensation.
Now, why do you say that?
Well, because if you don't discuss it, to me, it's all about setting the right expectation.
Right.
And so my thing is that I'm going to expect to do this work to a certain degree of perfection. And once I've done that, then what do we naturally expect?
Right.
I expect to be compensated in a reasonable amount of time. But if we don't discuss that, you're on a net 90.
Yeah, that's right.
Or a net 120.
That's right.
So then now I can't properly forecast what my profit margin is, because now that profit margin is being eroded by time, and the fact that I have to carry that expense and the possibility that I may have to go out and borrow money. So then I got to take into account the cost of those funds in order to get me to the point to where I'm compensated. So it's never a bad time to discuss compensation.
Right.
Yep, and no, I agree totally, because one of the challenges is, and that's why I'm bringing this up. And by the way, folks, you can join in the conversation, because we're talking about money here, and we're talking about making a place for success. Don't forget, you can give us a call at 347-857-3958. Join in the conversation, or join us in the chat room with your comments or questions. I believe, John, that a lot of people are on unsure footing with the compensation question. They're not sure, and let me tell you what I mean.
I can't wait.
If I'm not sure about what value I bring,
that's it.
I don't think I can confidently have a compensation conversation.
You know, we just hired a new salesperson to sell for the magazine.
Sure.
And I'm not going to say any names, but this person, I was explaining to her, teaching her the rudiments of being a successful salesperson. And when you follow up, you know, you have an event, it's an awesome time for you to meet someone outside of their office. You're outside of theirs. They may have a bite to eat. They may have a glass of wine. You talk about things, and then you work that into the follow-up so that you follow up the next day and within the next couple days. And then that's when you pitch, hey, this is what I do, and I think that these are some ways based on our conversation that my product or service can enhance or help your business, only if you think so. And her comment to me was, well, I don't like, I have a problem asking people for money. And when I said, well, the first thing is that that's not what we do here. So if you believe that that's what your job is, you need to go work for a church or a nonprofit organization, because we don't ask people for money.
Right.
We provide a service, and we provide a product, and we do it for a level of compensation that's commensurate with the quality of the
absolutely.
business.
I love that. Yeah, I love what you're talking about. What you were discussing earlier is what your value is in the marketplace, and you have every right to expect to be compensated for that when you provide, when you fill that hole, when you feel that need, when they know the pain is there and you solve it, then you have every right to expect to be paid.
Absolutely, no doubt. Folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by Sales Nexus. Listen, if you need a good customer relationship management system, I encourage you right now, you can go out to www.salesnexus.com, download your free trial copy, and guess what? Once you do that, it will even allow you to populate your new CRM with some brand new leads so you can start some relationships. More in a moment with Cruz and Hughes right after this.
Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So the next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for Coffee News. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's Coffee News.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? My answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
Turn up the sales on your website today with AnythingInternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with AnythingInternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
or even worse,
We've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
so how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Guys, today we're talking about preparing a place for success. Remember, success is not something that happens by chance or happenstance. Success is by design. It's what you do regularly. It's what you do daily, day in and day out, that build a successful business. That's not to say that you're not going to make mistakes. It's not to say that you're not going to have problems to overcome. But believe me, your success is not going to be as easy as scratching off a winning lottery ticket. Now, we've gone down a couple of these, and I don't know. I mean, this is the type of day that we're probably not going to go through every one of these.
Oh, sure.
We might have to pick this up at a later date, but
Absolutely.
nonetheless, I'm having fun. But we're down to number 3, which is always be on time. Now, if Steve Levine was here, he would take issue with every one of us.
Yeah.
Especially Stephen K.
Yeah.
Especially.
No doubt.
Being on time and respecting someone else's time is a very good quality to operate from. Steve and I had an appointment this morning at 9:30 a.m. Do you want to know when Steve got to that appointment?
What
9.
time?
No.
8:45.
8:30.
Wow.
Yep.
He didn't gauge for traffic. He breezed right through it, and he just went up there and he sat down and he broke out his computer and he waited. I think in the 15 or so years that I've known Steve, he's probably been late twice.
Wow.
And he and I meet regularly.
Sure.
I mean, and I always have an excuse, you know. It's a stalled car on the, and he's like, John, believe me, if you left with plenty enough time,
Right.
that stalled car would not have been a factor.
Yeah, and
he's right.
He's right about that.
He's right. And so I'm actually criticizing myself. It is something that we all could do better at, and that we must. Being on time is a great attribute to have.
No doubt. And let me tell you what, folks, you know, I really believe that you're sending a message, whether you want to or not, if you're always late.
Yes.
You know, it's one thing, we can all be late. I mean, let's just face it. There is,
as long as you're not Steve Levine. For the rest of us humans, it happens.
Yeah. And he may be just not human. I mean, you know, we
I've often wondered.
Yeah, we should probably question that. But for the rest of us, there's always situations and circumstances that are unforeseen that can cause you to be late, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when it's how you roll.
Yeah.
You just don't care.
Yeah.
Or
it's part of your character.
Yeah, it's a character issue, I think.
Yeah.
Where you literally, like I've heard people literally say, "Hey, I just lost track of time." Every time.
Yes. Oh my
You're
goodness.
talking about when it's chronic.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, come on now. Really? I mean, you had no idea you had this time set up, you know, and I'm wondering, you know, it seems like there are some things that people are late for, and there are some things that people aren't late for. For example, airplanes. All you have to do is get socked with a change fee.
Mm-hmm. Once or twice.
For some people, it takes 3 times.
That's correct. That's correct.
But all of a sudden, you don't miss planes anymore.
You fix that.
See, you fix that. Yeah. I had to fix that because there was a period in my life, in my professional career, when I was traveling literally sometimes 2 and 3 cities in a day. And let me tell you what, miss a plane.
Yeah, it throws your whole day off.
That is a time train wreck.
Yeah.
You know, And some of this is about management. Some of this is about character. And I really have strong feelings about this chronic thing where people are always late to the point that you can expect them to be late.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
And when you start planning your meetings around that person because they're late all the time, then it really becomes a problem.
Oh, my
That's exactly right.
Well, you know, and I will say this. A person who's late generally is not a good business associate. That's just been my experience. Because first and foremost, if you are late, you don't respect not only your own time, but you definitely don't respect mine. And when you think about being in business, my time is the most valuable thing that I can offer you.
That's right.
And if you don't respect that enough to show up for my appointments on time, and Steve has a point, then I don't want to do business with you, and I don't want to meet with you anymore. It's that simple.
Yeah, you know, I mean, just to give an example. I mean, it happened to me today. This is a great example where I had appointments, set up my schedule, doing the responsible thing, and literally had a time train wreck from the morning. Okay. So now here's a conference call. Now here's another conference call. Now this is stretched out. Now calls come in that I didn't anticipate. That were important calls. Not emergencies, but certainly important. All right. So now next thing I'm 15 minutes back. Next thing I'm 20 minutes back. Now I'm 35 minutes back. Now I've got to lean on relationships now.
Right.
Yeah.
Because I've got to adjust now.
Amen.
Right? I've got to adjust now.
Exactly.
And that's where relationships are so valuable because now I've got to lean on my relationship and the person I had it's funny because the person I actually had to beg forgiveness from is actually in the studio with us right now. Because I wound up having to kidnap him, and I was like, look, my schedule is jacked up and I've got to fix it, so guess what? You got to ride with me, buddy.
Hey, you know what? This reminds me of that moment in church when the pastor's talking directly to you.
Yeah, that's right.
And I know it's uncomfortable, but it's only to make you better. And you have to become known for being punctual. It changes everything in your business. If you don't believe me, try wearing a suit to work every day and see how that changes your momentum. Try walking, as we talked about on the trip, a couple of paces faster.
Sure.
Try showing up ahead of time and just see how that resonates through every other area of your business.
Absolutely. You know, you were talking about it at the beginning, you can't be all things to all people. And one of the skill sets about being on time that helps is learning how to set your boundaries and say, you know what, I love talking to you. I got to go. I got to get out of here. I got another appointment. I can't be late, but I'd love to hook up with you later on the week and do this again.
And you know what? And you bring up such a good point, Bertrand. A lot of times we don't, as business people, we don't know how to get out of a conversation without being rude.
But you know,
maybe we need coaching on that.
You might need coaching, but you know, doing what I just did, I'm never offended when someone does it to me. I totally get it.
I'm not. It's because I know how it is to be pressed for time.
Exactly.
Hey, go to your day. Get busy. We'll talk later.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I'm totally down with that.
All right, we've gone through 3 of these. We're talking about preparing a place for success. If you want to join the conversation, you can give us a call at 347-857-3958. Again, that number here is 347-857-3958. Or you can join us in the chat room. Stephen K. is standing by to respond to any requests or questions that you put in the chat room.
Well, you know, Stephen's picking on you.
Is he really? What is he saying?
He's saying all kinds of things in the chat room.
Like what? That I'm always on time and I'm always waiting for him?
No.
He's not picking on me in that way. All right, the next one. Hire the right people.
Oh, boy.
And Bertrand, you got to hear this. This is the excuse that I get most often. When I sit down and I talk to someone, they tell me about the people. I had a gentleman that I met with just last evening, and he was telling me about the people who worked in his business. And I asked him if he were putting together a Super Bowl team in relation to his business. Are the people that I see walking around this office the teammates that are going to get you to the Super Bowl?
Wow.
You know what his answer was?
What's that?
No.
Well, what in the world?
And I asked him, then why are they here?
Right.
Well, he starts giving me all these excuses.
I took what I could get. I was trying to help.
Couldn't afford better talent. Couldn't do this. Couldn't do that. And there is absolutely no excuse for hiring the wrong people. It sends the wrong people send the right message about your product, your quality, and you become known for something that you don't want to become known for. I would not hire someone. I don't throw people at positions. I'm going to find the right person. And there's always a way to work something out as it relates to compensation. Sure. Because sometimes we as business owners, we start to believe that the only thing a person is motivated by is money. And if I don't have the money to pay with this person, what I think this person is going to think that they're worth, then I'm not even going to approach them. I'm not even going to ask them. And if you believe that, there's a book you should read by Trammell Crow, and it's called Trammell Crow. And read and see how he built his business. And he always found Ivy League students, paid them around half of what they could get any place else in the marketplace. But he made a promise to them. If you come to work for me and you dedicate and give me 5 years, you're going to leave this company a millionaire. Now, IBM can't promise you that.
Right.
Walmart can't promise you that.
Wow.
All the money's been made over there.
Right.
So what can you promise in the development of your people that'll make them the right hire?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right, because you've got to, you know that you're creating a culture, and that culture is going to be whatever you dictate it's going to be, and you cannot create the culture you want hiring below that line.
You cannot. You can't win with below average players. You can't win at the professional level running high school players.
No.
You can't do it.
Right.
I've never seen it done.
No, you can't do it, and quite frankly, you shouldn't be trying to do it. If you can, and to me, it gets back to a question of value. What kind of value are you looking to bring to your customers, the people that you're looking to serve in return for their money? Ultimately, is that going to be a service or a product that you would offer, and would you offer it this way?
And here's another question. Are you scared to hire people who might be better than you?
That's also an issue.
Are you hiring below yourself because you feel a little bit better about yourself when they're in the office, because you're not going to reach your culture?
That's exactly
right.
That's
ridiculous. You better hire some people.
But that's a hard thing to do, but I'm telling you, it is a liberating thing when you realize, you know what, I'm going to hire people better than me. I don't have to be the big deal.
And who's the person that comes to mind when I think of that? Henry Ford.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, he hired the best and brightest minds of his time. Although I think we had a 4th grade education,
something like that.
Something like that. I mean, even the United States deemed him an idiot. So,
right.
So anyway, we better go to break.
Yeah, okay. Well, folks, you're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. It's brought to you by the Lexington Law Firm. When you need credit help, get a free consultation today by calling 888-744-7081. The education continues right after this.
Turn up the sales on your website today with AnythingInternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with AnythingInternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash. I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ads targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz. Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now,
excuse me, heavy news?
You know, Disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is
Coffee News. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for Coffee News. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's Coffee News.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? And my answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
Get your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
You're listening to Small Business Today. Visit us on the web at cruzandhughes.com. Here are your hosts, Cruz and Hughes.
Okay, welcome back to the show. Yes, this is Cruz and Hughes, and if you're watching us online at cruzandhughes.com, you'll see that we have our good friend Bertrand McHenry here in the studio with us today. Now, before we get back to preparing a place for success, which is our topic for today,
sure.
We got to do a little housekeeping. I know that we got some events coming up
Absolutely.
that small business people may want to chime into. Irv, you got something coming up on the 15th.
Yeah, we actually have our government contracting seminar. It's a free seminar. We do this twice a month here in Houston. And our second one is actually coming up on February 15th. And it's going to be from 10 a.m. to 12 noon. It's going to be over at the Kingdom Builders Center at 6011 West Orem. And if you need more information, you can give us a call at 800-381-0073, or if you want to request information online, you can go to www.net30credit, that's net30credit.com.
The cost?
The cost is free.
Wow, it's priced just right.
That's right.
So that's February 15th with Irv. If you want to do business with the city government, Metro, State of Texas, he's going to talk about all of those different ways. So you definitely don't want to miss this. February 15th at the Kingdom Builders Center.
Excellent.
Now, Bertrand, you have something coming up also on the 27th, I believe.
February 27th, I've got a class called Referral Success 101, which is about a 2.5-hour class on the basics and fundamentals. It's kind of high-level education on referral marketing. Okay. And it's going to be at the Sales Nexus office in their conference room. And that is 600 North Shepherd Drive at Suite 300.
Suite 300. Is there a cost to attend?
$25.
$25. And how do they get that $25?
They can pay at the door, or they can go online to referralinstitutehouston.com. Referralinstitutehouston.com.
And you don't have something in place for all of our viewers or listeners who are in outside the Houston footprint, do you? I mean, is this going to also be simulcast on the web or anything?
I'm going to start doing a series of webinars with Craig Klein over at Sales Nexus in 3 weeks.
Our good friend Craig Klein. So you definitely have to come back once you're set up, and let's do a show and talk about what you have going on.
And let me tell you what, folks, here at Cruz and Hughes, if you don't know, if you've been listening to our show and you're a regular listener, you would know that John Cruz puts pressure on folks who are doing these seminars to make this content available to you online in your areas. And John, I want to tell you how much I really appreciate you doing that, because I probably would not be doing what I'm doing had you not pressed for us to make this kind of information available to all of our listeners across the country.
Well, there's so many people who definitely need this. This is the business that we're in. I feel like that right now we live in a time where the ease of information or the access to information is like it has never been in any other time in human existence.
No doubt.
But at the same time, we perish because of lack of knowledge. Our business is closed because of lack of knowledge. And there is absolutely no excuse for not knowing. Saying to me that, well, I didn't know this is not an excuse. So especially if you are a avid listener to this show, I want to always be a catalyst for providing information that someone can use to empower themselves. And speaking of which, we're changing the format of this show as well. We're changing the way in which we broadcast live from our website. So the jerkiness in the video is going to end this week. So we're putting some pressure not only on others, but also on ourselves to strive for excellence. So I want to say thank you guys for doing what you're doing. And I'm sure we'll talk to both of you again before. I'm acting like you don't live here.
I live here.
Yeah,
I'll be here.
Well, we'll talk to Bertrand again before his show.
I kind of mooch here. I just kind of crash.
Hey, we love it when you come over.
Yeah, man. We like to have you.
Hey, the parents let us get the car.
Can I just sleep on the couch?
That's right.
Absolutely.
Okay,
Absolutely.
Yeah, people look and say that's Bertrand and his neighbor's kid.
All right, preparing a place for success. We've been talking about a few topics. We've gone through about 4 of them. We're down to number 5, and this is one that comes from the great Jeff Rose, and this is find both a mentor and a mentee. Ooh. So both of those help you along in your path to success. You have to have someone that's pouring into your cup, and that would be your mentor. But then you also have to turn back and pour into someone else's cup, and that'd be the mentee. Mm-hmm. And that really does provide a level of balance. It also, in a way, makes you accountable. Absolutely. Think about being a parent. You know, when you tell your kids, don't do this, there's a part of you, if you are about to do that very thing, you do think about the fact that, hey, I have to live by the example.
Absolutely. You know what, John, what you're saying is so true, and it's so vital to, I believe, someone being prepared for the success that they've laid out for themselves. You have to have somebody that you're responsible for and responsible to. Yeah. And I really, really relish that, because so many times people don't get relationships where they are responsible to someone for accountability purposes, and then somebody that they're responsible for accountability purposes.
Right.
And that's a big deal right there.
You know, it's funny because you'll hear martial arts teachers say this all the time. I didn't really learn that technique after going to years and years of seminars until I started teaching it.
Right.
So there's a level of learning that happens in teaching and passing it on. I
totally buy into that. I believe that when you are in harmony with the ethers, the universe, when you own your information, you also become the student at the same time that you are the teacher.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I'm certain if you are a teacher, there's been a time where something comes out of you and you're like, wow, that was good. I need to write that down.
Exactly right. Hey, where did that come from?
Exactly.
Absolutely. So you definitely want to find yourself a mentor. A mentor is definitely important in your success. It is that person that you that holds you accountable for the things that you say you're going to do. And a mentee does the exact same thing, because what you teach them, you have to be willing to stand by.
That's exactly right. And you know what? And when you find a great mentee, what's really cool about that is it allows you to feel the responsibility that goes along with that.
Right.
Because if you find a great mentee, someone that you make a recommendation to, and you know that they are absolutely going to take action on that, boy, you talk about feeling responsible.
Boy, you really do, don't you?
You really are going to be very careful about what you're telling them to do, because you're going to think farther down the road than perhaps you would if it was just you.
Because you're pouring into that person.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you know, nothing feels better as well as when you're giving someone that heartfelt advice, and they actually go out and apply it, and it works out for their good.
You know, that's one of the, you know, and I think as far as teaching goes, I can tell you one of my biggest rewards as a consultant is when I've imparted information into a business owner for them to better their position, and they take ownership of it. And when you hear it again, they now own that content.
Right.
They've internalized it. It's now theirs. What a cool thing.
Oh, I think so. Again, you're and a lot of times mentees are younger.
Sure.
So you're pouring into someone who's going to reach into a future that we're probably not going to see.
That's exactly right. That is
well, you know,
exactly right.
And most of my mentees, believe it or not, are older. I had a guy the other day tell me that we're sitting there, we're talking, and I'm giving him some advice, and he's thanking me for it. And then he says, so how old are you? And I tell him that my age. And he says to me, man, I thought you were about 50. And I'm like, don't take any offense to this for all the people who are 50, but I don't look 50 years old.
How can you when you're 29?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
But you know what? We do have a gentleman here in the studio.
I'm just inculcated in manners here.
That's the word for the day.
That is.
Okay, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back, and we're going to give you a few more points to put in your pouch.
Unbelievable. You're listening to the Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes, folks. It's brought to you by RingCentral.com. To get RingCentral's virtual PBX for your business, you can give them a call today at 888-716-5022. Don't go away. We're in the home stretch. We'll be right back.
Are you looking to improve your health and well-being? Have you lost your energy and vitality? Do you wake up feeling 10 years older than you actually are? Looking for a doctor who really listens? Looking for a natural alternative to your chronic health challenge? Dr. Dan Cooney is a chiropractic nutritionist who helps restore your health from the inside out using whole food supplements and specific nutritional counseling. Learn more about Dr. Dan's 7 Pillars of Health on his website, drdancooney.com, or give him a call at 713-295-9358.
Introducing the alternative to heavy news. Now at...
Excuse me, heavy news?
You know, disasters, politics, stock market.
And this alternative is...
Coffee news. It's entertaining stories, famous quotes, and family fun. It's light news. Why it's so light, it's free.
Free?
In restaurants and coffee shops all across Houston. So next time you're waiting in a restaurant, look for coffee news. If they don't have it, tell them to get it by visiting coffeenewshouston.com.
It's light. It's free. It's coffee news.
With my Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus headset, I'm free. Free to talk to you while carrying a laptop bag, holding a cup of coffee, and fishing for my car keys. Now, you may ask me, Jim, is it really necessary to use the phone while doing all these things? My answer is it really necessary not to? Plantronics Voyager Pro Plus. It's my so comfortable, why wouldn't I use it all day headset.
It's your Voyager Pro Plus at Plantronics.com.
Turn up the sales on your website today with AnythingInternet.com. Anything Internet will evaluate your website for marketing power, for traffic, for conversion rates. We'll figure out why people buy and why people go away. We'll help you generate the correct traffic that will turn into customers and make you money. Turn the juice up on your website today with AnythingInternet.com. Turn your website into a web business. 1-800-686-5986.
Very often, people come to me saying,
Stephen, how do I make radio advertising work?
Or even worse,
we've tried radio ads before and got little to no response.
So how do you make the radio work for you? Well, you could have a clever jingle.
Come buy my stuff. Come buy my stuff.
Or you may act crazy and loud and have an unbeatable offer.
I'll save you cash, I'll save you time, and I'll do it today, guaranteed.
But these techniques may work for some and not for others. The real key to advertising is to go back to basic marketing principles. Target your ideal prospect, make your message clear and concise, and touch the listener by connecting to their needs. Stephen K. Media specializes in radio advertising promotion that effectively broadcasts your company's message, yielding higher response and better results. As an independent agency representing major talk radio stations, we help you negotiate rates and place your ad targeting your ideal prospect. Call us today at 713-278-9109 or visit stephenk.biz. That's 713-278-9109 or email info@stephenk.biz.
You're listening to Small Business Today with Cruz and Hughes. Follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. We're wherever you are.
Okay, today we've been talking about preparing a place for success in your business. Remember, success is by design. It's something that you're going to do every day, day in, day out, regularly and reoccurring that builds you or leads you to success. It's not chance. It's not happenstance. And we've given 5 good points on today's show. I think we can leave it at 5.
Absolutely.
For you to digest. And these are things that you can implement in your business day, in your business culture immediately. And I believe that you're going to see quick results.
Absolutely. And you know what, folks? You can do it now. Don't wait. There's no point in waiting. Implement these things right now. I can tell you that waiting for all conditions to be right to start is a bad policy.
It's a recipe for disaster.
Just don't do it. I think you can implement these things we talked about today, and you can do it now.
I think absolutely that's the truth. You know, when you think about waiting for it to be perfect, never happens. And I heard this recently. Clarity comes in action when you start moving. Clarity shows up. And aren't you guys the guys about moving from thought to action?
That's exactly right.
Absolutely.
That's exactly right. Break the inertia.
That's it.
Yeah, and you know what? A lot of people, if you don't know what inertia is, go look it up. Because let me tell you what, people who are where they are can get very comfortable there, and you have a strong desire for you to stay right where you are, even if it's uncomfortable, because discomfort can become your normal.
Well, and as you put that, I'm reminded of orbit, and failure has an orbit.
Yes.
And it's very easy to get caught in that orbit.
Absolutely.
And you can't break out of it, and you're sort of sucked in, and the people you hang with,
right.
the thoughts you keep.
That's right.
You have to break out of that. And one of the things that I think that you can do to really help yourself, as you put it, is do it now. When you hear something, when you know something that you need to do it now. There's
Absolutely.
no excuse.
Don't wait.
Guys, we hope that you've enjoyed today's show. We've had Mr. Bertrand McHenry with the Referral Institute with us all hour long. It has been very fun. It's been very light. We hope that we've given you some food for thought. And until tomorrow, we always ask that you do 3 things for us. Be smart, be successful, and above all else,
be in action.
And Irv and I will see you tomorrow.
Take care.